Hello, Francesca. Uh,
Hi.
you're quite far away, so Estonian public is not so um, familiar with you. So maybe for the beginning, uh, uh, you could introduce a bit yourself. Where do you come from? What do you do?
Of course. First of all, hi everyone. I'm Francesca and I'm 24 years old. I'm working and living in Milan, in Italy. And I started to approach contemporary jewelry field when I started the university here in Milan. I studied at IET, that is Istituto Europeo di Design. And I've been always I always love to like create sculpture and make so painting. I attended the artistic high school, and so the passion for art starts from my childhood actually. And nowadays I'm focusing my attention on contemporary jewelry. So I really like the idea of jewel that it's an object, and to understand jewel like a sculpture and something that you can wear it on yourself. Nowadays I'm develop also my collection, my thesis collection actually, and I'm really honored to be exhibited at A-Gallery in Tallinn. It is my first exhibition in Estonia.
How did you find your way to jewelry? Because I understood that you are also really like fashion related. But how the jewelry kicked in?
Nowadays I'm working in a fashion company, let's say, but the passion, the idea of studying jewelry starts from the artistic high school. I had some weeks that I had a trainee in a laboratory. So I was really amazed by the idea of creating like objects that you can wear, so that belongs also to yourself. Jewelry started to kick in my life actually when I in a more, let's say, professional way during artistic high school, but it starts really when I was a child, because when I had like 6 years old, I was always creating jewels with pearls and materials that I found at home, really simple, like cardboard or elastics. And with also my friends, we started to like create little markets and try to sell jewels with the people on the streets. Let's say it was a fun, it was a joke, it was a, let's say, a game for us. And then I decided to that this play and fun become also my like career and job.
Maybe you can describe a bit what is the everyday surrounding and where do you create your things? What surrounds you?
Actually, I have like my goldsmith bench and also all the tools at my grandmother's house. And it's a really tiny room where I'm surrounded by almost white walls. It's very, I can say it's quite empty. It's very strange. I mean, I don't have like, how can I say, so many objects that can inspire me. Actually, because I took inspiration from my when I have to create jewels, a jewelry collection. I took inspiration from my everyday life, and so yeah, the studio that I have, it's like my second home, let's say, or maybe the first one, I don't know actually. And it's tiny and comfortable and a very familiar studio, let's say, where I have like the possibility to experiment with materials and really to express myself in the best way, because I have like no distractions. It's a silent place, quiet, calm, and so I can focus my attention really on what I'm creating.
And of course, Milan is a real fashion mecca and real design mecca. So how do you position your creation? Like, what are you connected to? How do you reach for inspiration? Because probably there's a lot of people who want to be first or who want to be seen. So how is life in Milan? Because in Estonia we don't have much problem with being overcrowded because there's too little people to be overcrowded. But everybody go to Milan who want to be famous in design. So what is the life in Milan?
Life in Milan, it's really for fashion and jewelry field. It's really difficult because actually working in fashion, it means to have to be like overwhelmed by collections and like overthinking also, because you have like to think about 3 collections at the same time, and everyone also, as you said before, everyone wants to be the number one, the first one. So there is a really lot of people that are talented and wanted to reach like the top, let's say. And in jewelry, in Milan, for contemporary jewelry, it's really difficult in Milan because actually it's not so developed, let's say, and also known by people. There are not so many art galleries that have and possess like contemporary jewelry. So people doesn't know what it is and what it means to create and to to understand what is contemporary jewelry.
Yeah, when I visited a few years ago Rome, then of course, coming from Nordic country, I was amazed by those crazy patterns. People wearing dresses with lions printed on them and earrings which had like 10 or I don't know 50 different shades of colors, and it was really colorful, really expressive. But your aesthetics rather fit to our Nordic style, so you're quite minimalistic, quite raffinated. How do you describe your own style? How did you find your own way?
Of course, here also in Milan, there are like crazy people that also in fashion, of course, they are wearing like very strange, clothes, jewelry, and whatever they want. And in my case, actually, it's quite different because probably if you see like the collection that it exhibited now in a gallery, all the collection is made out of transparent glass, so there is no color. And yes, I have like a minimalistic approach, let's say. I think it's very based on yourself, on like your person, and also for example, also when I have to decide how to wear wear myself, actually I do not use many colors. I always remain like in black and almost black, let's say. So I think that it belongs also to the personality of a person.
But how do you choose your materials? You have very specific, like transparent glass, and you have very specific materials that you're using in your exhibition. So how did you found those?
I decided to use transparent glass. Actually, is a choice that I made after I complete all the study about the concept of the collection. So the collection is based on the idea of the color blue related to my perception of the color, linked it with the sky and water. So when you see sky and water, actually you see the color blue, but I mean it doesn't really, let's say, exist, because if you try to catch water, it's transparent, and also the sky, you can see the color blue, but it's, let's say, full of air that you cannot perceive it. So when I was thinking about this kind of concept, I decided to create a collection made out of glass that was transparent. So in all the collection, you cannot see the color blue. And for this reason, I decided to use glass. Also because glass is really fragile material. And my idea of related to the concept of my thesis project, it was that my personal experience with color blue started with like a kind of contemplation of the sky and water. And so this moment of contemplation and meditation, it's a really fragile moment that it could last like for seconds or for minutes. And for this reason, I made the parallelism between the time of the contemplation, that it's a really fragile moment, with the fragility of the material. And glass also because it creates a really interesting place of light and shadows. And I can say that also the shadows that the jewels project on the body of the wearer are almost equivalent with the value of the jewel itself. So I made also experiments with like transparent plastic, but it has not this like effect on our bodies. And so for these reasons, I decided to use this kind of material.
But of course, your project must have some kind of, how to say, starting point. But I wouldn't even say starting point, but influences. Who are influencing you? Who you see as your inspiration? How to say? Where do you get your thoughts?
It's a really difficult question because actually I can say that my passion for art starts from like my mother, that is an architect. So she really, I think, influenced me from my childhood. We always drawing together, and she always shared with me also her ideas. And so I think that it starts from there.
I'm not so aware how jewelry world actually functions in Milan, because every region kind of has their own heroes. In example, when you're in Central Europe, probably you are influenced by Otto Künzli because he's such a like originator. Yes. So, or when you're in Holland, when you're in Netherlands, then it's impossible that you're not influenced by Ted Norton or Ruth Peters or Heisbacher. So do you feel that there's some people who has been really influential in the jewelry scene in Milan, or who has been influential in your own life?
In my own life, I totally think about ehtekunstile, as you said before. It's like I started to approach, as I said before, contemporary jewelry almost 5 years ago when I started university. And it was like the first person who I took like reference for my projects, let's say. And it was like a figure that it always recurs into my projects. And I think because he's also a lot about concepts, and I really would like to go on this path. I'm more interested when I saw jewels. I'm more interested into something that it's not only jewels but also like art in general. I'm more attracted by something that it's like unknown, that you cannot understand at the first sight, that you have to discover to go more deep into it to understand really what it means. I don't know if I explain well. And for this reason also, when I had to think about my jewelry collection, jewelry collection, but also like I create some abstract paintings. So when I have to make something that it's artistic, let's say, always contemporary art inspire me. So actually also for my thesis project, my reference point was is playing. And so for this reason, I think that ehtekunstile, but also like conceptual art, jewelry, and it's something that belongs to me. And in Milan, it's quite different because for jewelry, they are not so known. But of course, if we speak about contemporary art, there are a lot of galleries, and that have we have also fairs, and it's a kind of market that it's quite known here.
What is the function of jewelry? Because jewelry can be seen so many ways. It can be a wedding ring, it can be an object which is unwearable and still be a jewelry. What jewelry means to you? What makes you interested in jewelry?
I decided to be a jewelry designer because I was thinking I was in between by jewelry and also sculptures. So there was a point during artistic high school when I was thinking, but actually jewelry is something that always recurs in my life since when I was 6 years old, that I create them, and it always comes to my mind. And so I was thinking why I cannot combine sculpture with jewels. And so for this reason, I think about jewels as an object that you can wear it. It's not an object, but more a sculpture, a piece of art, let's say, that you can wear it, but you can also not wear it. It has to be also something that capture your attention. So I intended jewelry, like something that it has no function about like preciousness, that it has to underline your richness, your wealth, as it was like in the past, let's say. I decided to go on because here in Italy we had a very traditional, how can I say, traditional techniques, let's say. A lot of artisan that has very powerful and beautiful techniques, but maybe they are not applied into something that is more contemporary. So something that keeps the attention also of like young people. And I really would like to get more into like to use traditional techniques, but more in a contemporary way. So I think that there is a lot of a lot to do in Italy for this field. Also because contemporary jewelry really here it's not so known. Actually, I discovered contemporary jewelry 5 years ago. Before, I never heard about kunstnikuvestlus, ehtekunstile, and all everything about it.
Yeah, I've heard several art collectors who say that when they buy a painting, then they can see it themselves. Maybe some friends visit, and then they can show their friends that, yeah, we bought a piece of contemporary art. But when they are buying a piece of contemporary jewelry, then they have a sculpture that they can wear and show to everyone.
Actually, when I went to Munich for Schmuck, and it was really a kind of another word, let's say, because you were recognized by the jewel that you wear. It was like very strange. You saw people like around the city. You can recognize people by jewelry because maybe during an opening you saw the brooch that someone wear because it was strange, particular, it attracts your attention, and then the day before you understand that you already seen this person buy the jewels that he always like wear. So it's a really a kind of identity that you can wear. And and here I understand the power that a jewel has.
And how much do you wear jewelry yourself?
Oh, I'm not collecting jewelry yet, but I really would like to. It's like another wheel that I have. So actually I can wear my jewels, let's say. It's a very strange because I never wear my jewels. And I don't know why. Some people said that I have to because it's also like a kind of promotion, of course, because if you wear your jewels, then people saw on your body and then can recognize the work that you have done. And people say, why you make jewelry and you are not wearing them? It's a really strange. I don't know, maybe because it's really something that I would like to, I create not for myself, I create for the others. And so that's why also I always like to have critical meetings or like share ideas with other people to understand better what people think about the project and my jewels.
Of course, we cannot get around so-called the new world order. COVID has been in our lives almost more than a year. How has this sensational time influenced the design and art world in Milan? How has it restructured your life, in example?
Totally like the opposite. Yeah, the opposite, because also in Milan we are used to be in rush, to have a lot of things to do, to be overwhelmed by job, meetings. And now during this year, we are forced to stay at home. You cannot see people. You, of course, also job. It's like not as before. I mean, a lot of artisan laboratory have to close because of these, let's say, economic crisis. Also that this pandemic took here, and also for like the designing part. A lot of like fashion firm decided to use maybe recycled materials to do not waste, let's say, and spend other monies in other materials, and to reduce also in of course in fashion, that it's fast fashion. They decided to reduce the number of the collection that usually we are used to make in 1 year. So someone decided to create 2 collections per year instead of 4. And I think also, of course, our mind is changed because it's 1 year that you cannot live as before.
Yeah, it's interesting that fashion companies are really like fastening up all the time. Like usually it used to be like 2 collections a year, like summer and winter collection, and then it became into 4 collections a year. Like every season had a collection, and some huge companies can have more than 30 collections a year. So probably Milan, as one of the center points of fashion, must be really, I don't know if devastated is a good word, but they all have to restructure. So it's really like sensational time for you. You can be like there really close to all this restructuring. So are you also a kind of excited about it?
Yeah, of course, I'm excited about. If I have to think about fashion here, I'm excited about like something has changed, because fashion, it was I don't know, maybe too fast, two collections, 2 materials, 2 like it was too much in my opinion, of course. And now people has to designers has to like change and decided, okay, what is really not useful but important, let's say. And so there are a lot of drastic changes in fashion, and I think it's a really good it's a really positive change.
How do you see the future? What are, first of all, your own closest plans? Are we able to see some new projects? What's boiling at the moment in the kitchen? Do you have already some exhibitions in preparing, or?
So nowadays I'm planning other 2 exhibitions. The next one, it will be probably you can see my thesis collection in Rome, and then I'm planning also another one in Chicago, so you can see my works there. And I'm working again on the thesis collection, so it's almost 2 years that I'm going on with this collection, drawings, new ideas, and they are always in development. I've never been satisfied, so I always change, not my mind, but like I think that there's no project that it's really finished, in my opinion. And so I'm working again on this collection. I'm started to create like another collection made out of glass, but let's say with more serious pieces. And I focus my attention more on the idea of the light and shadows. So something that you cannot have, because shadows, you cannot really own shadows, let's say. So I really like to like struggle myself with this idea of creating a jewels and an object that it has the value, it's the shadow itself and not the piece. My path was 3 years here in Milan, study at YED. But of course, I really would like to open more my mind and to be more aware about like what it happens out here. That it's like I really miss in like going to museums, visit fairs and exhibitions. So it's 1 year that it's a really hard for me to cannot like discover this like new artworks.
If you can go somewhere, what would be your destination? Where do you think, okay, like those people there are doing some really hot stuff right now?
Ooh, I've been always like, let's say, not obsessed, but I was thinking always about Nordic area. So where you are living now, actually, because I'm interested in contemporary jewelry and like a lot of, let's say, we can say that it is more developed than here, of course. And so, of course, there are a lot of young people that they are really cool. They are really making cool stuff around all the world, because now it's 1 year that I'm following like art and jewelry from Instagram, I can say, and virtual exhibitions, and there are really so many people that are so talented and oh my god, I don't know where I would like to go. Yeah, I'm really nostalgic about Schmuck, maybe because it's there you can really find in my opinion, for what I was looking for, you can really find that like so many people that are that share the same passion of you. And it was really amazing to in just, let's say, some days, I went there for 3 days, and in 3 days I really met a lot of people that has very astonished pieces wearing on themselves, or you share ideas and you saw like museums, galleries, and you have like it's a really magic moment where you are in a kind of parallel world of artists, and you can find really everyone, and it was very amazing.
Thank you really a lot that you took some time today to open up your world, and yes, hopefully we will see in some kind of spot on this planet Earth.
Yeah, I hope so.